Am I not welcome in your space with a smiling emoji? Hey, let's have a moment of silence. Let's have a moment of silence.
But all the elements live rent free in my mind. Moody.
Hey queens, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back. As you can see with the background, I'm still in the hotel. This is my last day on vacation. I'm ready to go. Not in a bad way. I miss my apartment. I miss my space. So yeah, anyway, welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, my name is Lydia. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram. It's Lydia_MSM. Pinterest and TikTok are @styled by Lydia M. I decided, you know what, it's my last full day here. I don't want to go outside. I've been indoors the whole day, and right now, well, whole day, it's only 3 o'clock, and I was like, you know what, let me just record a video. I have all these sit down topics on my phone, so I was like, instead of waiting till I get back to Beijing, I can just record one here. 2024, different energy, child. Okay, so in today's video, by the way, if you're interested to know what I'm wearing my Nike top, which is my favorite. My brother is crazy about these tops. I'm like, sorry, these are mine. I'm wearing these rings, which I showed you in my vacay prep video. I'm wearing my workout leggings and my white socks. I just wanted to feel cute while I record this video. Plus, I might just go for a walk outside. So today's sit down topic is I'm basically sharing 3 different things that showed that I matured or healed. All right, so these are the 3 different things that I just noted about myself that were an indicator of the fact that I have healed and I have also grown and just matured. Okay, we all know that healing is an ongoing process. As you are growing older, moving to different, environments and whatever, you'll constantly be met with different challenges, and that's just going to trigger certain parts of you. We all know that. But in as far as reflecting on my journey and how far I've come, yeah, these are the 3 things that show that sis over here has healed, is healing, has healed, and I have definitely matured and grown. So let's get into it. Okay, so I'm basically going to read everything off my phone, so excuse me that I keep looking down. The first point is no need to be seen, in brackets I said content in solitude. So yeah, let's talk about it, girl. So the first part of the actual point, when I say no need to be seen, I went through a season of being desperate for attention. I went through a season of being desperate for attention. So I know for a fact that that's something that comes with maturing and growing up. We've all had that. I'm just gonna generalize and say we've all had that. You know, when you're in high school and you're like, you know what, I actually think I look good, so I'm gonna stand up and go sharpen my pencil 20,000 times. So you can just see how good I look in my gray school pants. Just stuff like that. But on a more serious note, there are other deep-rooted issues that I grew up in a very sheltered household, and no shade to my parents, I grew up knowing that I'm loved. I grew up in an environment when I knew for a fact that I'm loved, I'm protected and all of that, but I just never felt seen. I never felt seen. I never felt acknowledged. So because of that, I know for a fact that I then internalized that and went and sought that outside the house, right? And it manifested in different ways, but I think what really helped me to not find myself in extremely dangerous situations, for lack of a better word, is that my parents had instilled so much fear in me that even when I was going through just like rebellious, just doing whatever it is that I want to do, they always were at the back of my mind, like, oh, you better not do that. What will your dad say? What would your dad do? What about your mother? You know? So I feel like the little voice at the back of my head honestly prevented me from doing a lot of things, probably a lot of dumb decisions that I would be regretting now in hindsight as a 31-year-old woman, you know. But like I said, I grew up in a very sheltered household. They were just straight to the point, strict parents. Listen, we're all about school grades. We want to see how well you're doing in school. And I just felt like I was never seen, and I went and sought that outside the house. So for me to say that I saw that I had matured or healed is the fact that, as you guys can see in most of my videos, I'm alone. In most of my vlogs, I'm alone. I have plenty of travel vlogs, and there's solo travel vlogs. Bali, Thailand, you know, Shanghai, all these different places that I travel to alone. For me to just see that I have really grown and I don't need to be seen is going through a phase where the old Lydia would have texted people in the different groups that we have on WeChat asking, hey, is anyone in Qingdao? Do you want to hang out? I'm not even that type of person. But the attention-seeking demon and devil in me would be doing stuff like that. You know for a fact that you're not a social butterfly. Literally, this is my social battery. After being outside for like 30 minutes to an hour, I'm already overwhelmed. I'm over it. I want to go home. So you can imagine the type of person that I am, that I must have been in a very weird space where I'm constantly trying to get attention from different people. Girl, this is not even you. Like that's not your personality. That's not the type of person that you are. I'm a very socially awkward person, and I feel like because of my personality on YouTube, and I don't know how that comes across on Instagram, but I've had a few people interacting with me and they're like, the first time, by the way, they'd be like, oh, on social media you look so nice, you're so rude. I'm not rude. It just takes time for me to warm up to people. That's just the person that I am. I'm not the type of person that's gonna get into a new space and be like, hey y'all. So you can see just the type of place I was in at that point, where I could even push myself to do something that uncomfortable, to go in WeChat groups and ask who wants to hang out, da, da, da. I would hang out with those people, and while I'm sitting there, I'm just like, okay, got the attention that I needed. Now I need to go home. I need to go back to the hotel. This is a team too much, you know. So for me to go from that to this person that I am right now, where I'm just like, I find so much peace in my own company. I find so much peace in solitude. I don't need to be seen. I'm not about to dress up and find the dopest club here just because I want to wear my skimpy outfits and be seen. I don't need to be seen. Like, I don't crave for that. I don't yearn for that. I'm just so content in my solitude. I'm content in my own company. I'm just content in the season that I'm in because I have so much peace. You know, I have so much peace. I've literally been making peace with my childhood and different things that used to trigger me and all of that, that now as a 31-year-old woman, I can safely say that, you know what? I enjoy my own company. Like, me doing things, I'm doing them because I want to do them, but not because I'm seeking out this attention that I feel like I lacked, you know, in my childhood. So and that's the first point where I honestly, when I was sitting down and reflecting on just how far I've come. Lydia today and Lydia 5 years ago and Lydia 4 years ago are two totally different people. I swear, if Lydia from 4 years ago would walk past right now in front of me, I'd be like, who is this girl? I'm sorry. Get her help. Who's this girl? Get help for her. Like, I'm telling you, situations that I've put myself in when I was still in my attention-seeking desperate season, you'd even be embarrassed for me. That, say what now? So for me to just get to a point where I'm honestly, sincerely content in my solitude, in my own company. If I'm doing things, I'm doing them because I want to do them, not because, oh my word, I feel this void and I need to fill it right now. Baby, we love it over here. We honestly love it over here. So yeah, I wanted to share that. Yeah, sometimes it's really important for you. This is why I personally like keeping journals. I mean, I have journals on journals on journals. There's a journal right now that I'm using as a port base for my camera. I love journals. I have journals from when I was back home to when I first came to China. And it's honestly so mind-boggling when I sit down and take the journal where I wrote down whatever my thoughts were or whatever it is that I was going through, like in 2018 and 2019. I'm just like, I wrote that? That's what I was feeling? That's what I was going through? these were thoughts that were literally in my own brain. This is how I was feeling. It's very scary, actually. It's very scary, but it's also refreshing, because it honestly shows my journey, and I can reflect back on those experiences and just be like, you have come a long way and you need to be proud of yourself. So yeah, the first point is literally no need to be seen, no need to be known, just content in my solitude, not having FOMO, fear of missing out. I'm sitting at home content. I'm sitting in the hotel room content. Even if I go out on a solo dinner date, content. Like, I don't need to be seen. I'm not desperately seeking out attention. I don't need to be seen by anyone or validated by anyone out there. The most refreshing and nicest thing that I can ever hear from anyone is them asking me, I've never seen you around. Are you new here? Are you new in town? Did you just move to China? I'm like, no, darling. Been here since 2018. Like, what? So you don't go, yeah, first of all, I've never wanted to be a poster child and a face for any parties or whatever. No, you're gonna miss me outside, okay? You're gonna see this face once in a blue moon. Thank you. I get that so much, and I'm just like, this is fabulous, this is amazing. For people to actually see me and they think I just moved to China is marvelous. It's marvelous. And for me, that's just, it speaks to the season that I'm in, that the old Lydia, even though I'm not really like a social butterfly, probably my face would be known, because every Friday I'd be going out, not because I want to go out, but because I need to be seen. Like, I'm such an attention seeking person, and I have this void. I need to be seen. But we love it here. Okay, now we're moving on to the second point. And this point is, I set boundaries and I stood on them. What do people say in 2024? Stand on business? Yeah, that never used to be me. I would have boundaries in place, but trust and believe, if it's a circle of friends that I'm trying to, impress, a new person that I just met, I would just, kind of like tweak it a bit. We can just make a little adjustment to this boundary. It's okay. I mean, he's an exception, she's an exception. No. I saw that I have really matured and I have fully healed, or I have healed, not fully healed, once I was able to set boundaries, standards, and expectations and stick to them. We are not shaking over here. And I think the most important part that it's important across the board. Okay, hear me out. But in the dating world, I'm sorry, in the dating world, yeah, that's where you need to be firm when it comes to your standards. You need to be firm when it comes to your boundaries. And I'm not even engaging this conversation that everyone is having on social media. Oh, what did she bring to the table? I'm the whole table. Ain't nobody got time for that. The kind of man that I'm attracting will understand the woman that I am. I'm not responding to a stupid question that you're asking me about what I'm bringing to the table. Next, go talk to kids, because you clearly wanted to talk to kids. I'm a grown woman. I'm not entertaining those conversations. I'm not interested. I had to get that out of the way, because those conversations irritate my soul. Like, what are we even talking about? Going back to what I was saying, setting standards, setting your boundaries, expectations, and sticking to them is important across the board in every area of your life, with work, with family, with friends, but in the dating world even more so. Okay, so for me to get to a point where I'm just like, non-negotiable, I'm standing on it. If you don't like it, hit the road, Jack, don't come back no more. I do not care. In friendships, in my work life, with my family, in the dating world, I don't play. I do not play, because I've honestly found myself in situations where you communicate your boundary and then you get comfortable with someone. This can be romantic or platonic. You get very comfortable with someone. Suddenly you're making adjustments, you're tweaking this boundary, tweaking that standard, you're tweaking that expectation. Do you know that there's a person who said straight to my face, I thought you'd be okay with that because there are plenty of things in the beginning that you said you wouldn't do and you're doing them now, but I thought you're doing them because you love me. Say what? I'm sorry. This person said to me, I know these are your standards. I know these are your boundaries. I know. But you made adjustments to accommodate me. So I thought you did that because you loved me. So what changed now? And for me, that lives rent-free in my mind. That lived rent-free in my mind from that day we had that conversation. Because I said, let me find out. Let me find out that I have boundaries that I've put in place and I kind of make adjustments. I have double standards. Some people can be an exception, because this person just straight up told me to my face that, yeah, I know your boundaries, but you kind of tweak them a bit for me, and I thought I'm the exception. So what changed? And it's like, oh no, Lydia. Oh no, Miss Mamas. Oh no, ma'am. We need to go back to the drawing board and get ourselves together. So for me to just see that I have really healed, I've grown, I've matured, is when I was able to get to that point where now I have my boundaries, I have my standards, I have expectations with relationships, friendships, family, colleague, professional. I have boundaries across the board, and what am I doing? Standing on them. And I'm so proud of myself. I'll just tell you guys a little bit. I won't make it a story time because I'm like, this is YouTube, I beg. For all I know, this person will come across my channel. But let me just give you a bit of and I was so proud of myself in this situation, because I was like, here we are. Because you might think that you've healed and grown in certain areas. I remember my therapist telling me this. She's like, there's certain things that you feel like you're protecting yourself from, because now you're like, oh, I don't want to be hurt. For example, I don't want to be hurt, so I'm just going to stay single. But there's certain lessons, or there's certain things that you need to see in relationship. You need to see them in relation to another person, because when you're alone, it's like, oh, I've done so much work on myself. These are the things that I've worked on. But it's like, some things you can only truly see how far you've come in your growth and healing journey in relationship with someone else, whether it's a platonic relationship or a romantic relationship, right? And ever since she told me that, I was like, oh, that is true. That is actually true. So for me to be in that situation recently where I was talking to someone, met this person on Bumble, and I was like, say what now? Excuse me? So long story short, this person doesn't live in Beijing. They live in a different city. And this guy had this marvelous idea that he's gonna plan his first trip to Beijing to come see me so that we go on our first date. But he did not make any plans to book a hotel. In his mind, it made sense that he just booked his flight tickets, yeah, a one-way flight ticket, because he was still going to decide how long he's going to stay in Beijing. Yeah, so basically it came to a point where I see that, okay, this person is only constantly talking about their flight, but he's not really talking about where he's gonna stay. And I'm like, normal Lydia was about to say, now I hope you don't think you're gonna stay in my... I was like, you know what, let's take a different approach. I asked him and I said, okay, so are you gonna tell me where we're gonna meet up for the dinner date? Most importantly, where did you book your hotel? Did you book it in my area, since you were asking which airport is closest to my apartment? Did you book a hotel in my area, or are you more in the city center? What's tea? This man is gonna say, am I not welcome in your space? Am I not welcome in your space with a smiling emoji? Hey, let's have a moment of silence. Let's have a moment of silence. He asked me, am I not welcome in your space? So my response was, let me get this right. So you booked a one... First of all, I had asked him, what time are you landing? He said at 12 midnight. Because I'm gonna, because I booked the flight, in the evening because I need to knock off at work first. I'm like, okay, valid, makes sense. He proceeds to say that he'll be landing in Beijing at 12 o'clock. And I'm like, okay, that's quite interesting. So when it came to the point of him asking me, am I not welcome in your apartment? So for me, I just sat there, I'm like, so this man thought the first time in my life I'm gonna meet you in person, the first time I'm meeting you in person, you think it's gonna be me wearing my pajamas waiting at the apartment door for you to come from the airport and what, hi, my name is Lydia, nice to meet you in person. Where do you think you're gonna sleep? On whose couch, in whose bed? I was just so... You would think an experience would be different because you're talking to an older guy. He's just got things going for him in his career. On paper, it looks good, but baby, I said, where does that actually make sense? And besides that, there's a time where I actually asked him, when we were talking before that incident, because after that I was like, this is not going to work, absolutely not. But before that, I had asked him what his overall impression of us getting to know each other is at this point, and this man's first thing was, I do admire the fact that you're a principled woman and you have boundaries and standards, but it really scares me because I'm wondering if you're actually flexible and you allow yourself to have fun. What's fun? So yeah, anyway, long story short, the point that I'm making is just getting to a point where you have your standards and boundaries in place, and I'm not shaking. That's where for me it was like, you respect my boundaries or you get cut off. You respect my boundaries, my standards and expectations, or you get cut off. Because for you to actually think, what kind of man, like, are you a gentleman? Clearly, what kind of man, what possesses you to think that the first time I meet up with you is going to be in my apartment with you landing at 12 midnight? I don't know you, sir. Like, I don't know you. I don't know. And on top of that, you plan to stay more than 2-3 days and you are still going to decide when you're leaving. So you think I'm about to take a shower and leave you in my apartment, go to work, and are you okay? Are you okay in the, like, that was such an interesting experience, and I was like, this is why I'm single. This is why I'm single, because I cannot deal with this. So boundaries are intact, expectations and standards are intact. If you don't respect them, you gotta hit the road, because we just don't have time for that over here. So for me, long story short, to get to a point where I can see a situation like that and I'm like, absolutely not, was a clear sign that I have healed and I have grown, and I love it for myself. I love it for myself. So if that comes across as me being too rigid, too principled, and it looks like I'm just not flexible and I can't have fun, I don't even know what that means, you're a grown man. I'm talking to a grown man who's 4 or 5 years older than me. So it's like, make it make sense, Ike. What's going on? I'm not dealing with a little boy. You're a grown man. Yeah, the streets are ghetto. But anyway, standards and boundaries are in place. We have healed, we have matured, and we love it for ourselves. Yes. So I don't want this video to be too long. The last part is basically number 3, having healthier reactions to past triggers. I feel like if you watched my other sit down video where I talked about 3 different changes that had a huge impact on my life, this kind of sort of ties in with that video. But basically just having a healthier reaction to past traumas and triggers was a clear sign that I have really grown, I have really healed, and I'm just like, I'm not that type of person anymore. I mean, every now and then some situations pop up, and you know, I'm just like, okay, you have to check a few people. But the fact that that's not my default setting, that's not my go-to reaction in the thick of a triggering situation, for me, it's just such an empowering feeling. And it's not the fact that I'm trying to channel that. At this point, I just tap into that very quickly, like, okay, this is happening. I can see that it's a trigger, it's something that used to trigger me before, but I have a more healthier reaction. You know, where I would instantly cut people off before for doing something, I'm able to sit you down and have a conversation with you, so I can get you to understand where I'm coming from, so I can get you to understand, like, where am I coming from? I'm not just out here screaming my head off type of thing, you know? Just having a more healthier, grown and matured reaction to situations has honestly been the most empowering thing ever. Being in a situation where, so recently a person was just being weird in the way that they were reacting, just because, going back to number 2, there's a clear boundary that I put in place. And after I reinforced this boundary, because they were clearly, you know, messing with the boundary, honey, trying to step over it, and I said, reel it back in, Miss Mamas, reel it back in. And this particular person got upset with me, I guess, because they started, you know, just being funny towards me. Basically, their energy towards me changed. I think my normal reaction would have been to cuss them out. Oh, just because I told you how I feel, now you feel that, da, da, da. No, I just sat down, I observed their behavior. I noticed that this person changed all of a sudden after I told you that whatever it is that you're doing and saying is making me uncomfortable. Instead of acknowledging what I'm saying in the moment and actually affirming whatever it is that I'm stating, you decide to be upset with me. You decide to act up. You decide to throw your toys out of the court. And it's just like, it's not a me situation, it's a you situation. And the fact that in that very situation, I was able to remove myself from it and be like, whatever it is that you're battling with, that's got nothing to do with me. Eventually, about a week later, this person came around. Now you want to come here smiling because I ain't got the time. I feel like the old Lydia, also my other reaction would be, as soon as I told this person how I feel and seeing their reaction, I would then sit down and be like, oh my gosh, maybe I overreacted. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Now I would be sitting in feelings of guilt about affirming my boundary that you're clearly violating. And the old lady would have probably tried to, you know, appease this person and get them this candy, get them flowers, get them whatever. It's like, no, but you wronged me. Why am I supposed to be the one apologizing when you are clearly in the wrong? So I was just like, I'm gonna let her sit with her emotions. Baby, take that up with your God. Ain't got time for it. I told you exactly how I feel, and the fact that you're getting upset with me instead of, first of all, apologizing for that, because I didn't cuss you out. I set you down like a grown woman, and I told you how what you're doing and what you're saying is making me feel. And instead of just acknowledging your mistake, apologizing if you have to, you decide to act out. And so for me, I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna let that go, walk away, continue doing me. And this person eventually came around. They still didn't apologize, but they came around. And you know, when you're clearly feeling guilty, because I'm not about to apologize for what I didn't do. I told you that what you are doing is violating my boundary, so your reaction to it has got nothing to do with me. So just being in this space now where I can have healthier reactions to situations that the old Lydia would be just having a completely different, toxic probably reaction to, is so liberating. It's so freeing, it's so empowering. I love it for myself, and I'm just like, isn't healing just amazing? Healing is amazing, and I think that's why I like journaling, because like I said, you can go back to that journal in even 6 months time and reflect on whatever you were in at that point in time and see just how far you have come if you're putting in the work and actively working towards improving yourself and just actively working towards being a better person. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Obviously, Healing is a continuous journey. Each and every day is a learning curve. Yeah, so you basically have to look at every day as a blank page in your journal. You get a new set of experiences, new set of lessons, you know, different things that you're learning about yourself, people in your environment altogether. And yeah, healing is just a beautiful journey. Growing is just beautiful. I'm turning 32 this year. I know I always sing this song. I'm very excited. Even birthdays are just amazing. I'm very excited. And I just love the season that I'm in right now. This season of just solitude and calmness and just being able to just be zen. Just being zen. It's like now there's no music in the background. Before I started recording this video, I was just chilling, reading. No need to drain out my thoughts or any noises by playing loud music. But being in this season is amazing. I love it for myself. So yeah, anyway, queens, this concludes the video. Those are the 3 different points that I wanted to share with you guys. Tell me which point you're related to down in the comment section. I'm really enjoying this whole sit down content vibe that I'm on. It just feels good to share my thoughts because these are conversations I have with myself. One thing about me, monologues on 100. If my walls could talk, if my walls and furniture could talk, they'd be like, yeah, she's a bit cuckoo. I have so many conversations solo dolo, okay, monologue on 100. Yeah, so anyway, queens, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram. It's Lydia_MSM. Pinterest and TikTok are @styled_by_Lydia_M, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.